you grew up in a household that included alcoholism and a mom who didn't complete high school and stuff. It wasn't an easy transition for you, was it?
It's not. Growing up, I again had a father who struggled with alcoholism. He was abusive. My mom got pregnant in high school, dropped out, later went and got her GED. Very proud of her for that. And my parents, they tried their best, I think, a lot of times. But when you're a teenager, and then they had me after my sister 2 years later, and then I had cancer. So when you're that young and you're dealing with two children, one of whom has cancer, and you're growing up in a low socioeconomic environment, you have a family history of not completing high school, a family history of a lot of incarceration. It's hard to beat those systemic issues and barriers. And so, it did present a lot of challenges, but sounds crazy, but I'm thankful for those challenges because that created that beast mindset. And that made me make promises to myself as a kid that the chaos and the struggle that I was going through then, I promised myself that I would build a life for myself, that I would never have to live that struggle again. And it's been hard, and I've had to hustle nonstop. I've had 2 jobs most of my adult life, all of my adult life. I got my first job at 15, and I've worked nonstop, and I'm all about the hustle and the grind, and my success is due in large part to the way I was raised.
You said it. You said a word that should impact everyone, but it impacted you at a young age. You mentioned cancer. Tell me a little bit about that and what that journey was like, and how did you get diagnosed, and what type of cancer was it?
So it's a kidney cancer called Wilms tumor, pediatric cancer, and I was 18 months old. So the good news is I have little to no memory of the actual cancer. They took out a kidney, so I have one kidney. I have a scar. They gut you like a fish back in the 80s when you have a kidney removed. They didn't have laparoscopic surgery back then. But I do remember growing up having to go to Cincinnati Children's Hospital, which I am thankful you asked about the diagnosis. I actually was misdiagnosed. I was very sick, again, a little baby. My parents, for all of their issues, had the wherewithal, to take me to the emergency room. The emergency room said, "Oh, she just has the flu. Take her home. She's going to be fine." They knew something was really wrong. So they took me across the river. Thankfully, we have a top 5 pediatric hospital in Cincinnati. I owe them my life literally, but Cincinnati Children's Hospital, they diagnosed the cancer, immediately got me into radiation, chemotherapy, removed the kidney, removed the tumor. And I think growing up, that's just been always a reminder of the fragility of life, of, how easily that could have been missed. And if my parents just took that advice and went home, I probably wouldn't be here today. And that I think also has contributed to my mindset when it comes to how I approach life and how hard I work.